Well, hello, Makai. Welcome. It is so good
Thank
to
you.
finally meet you in person.
Thank you. Definitely likewise. Thank you for squeezing me in for an appointment. I really do appreciate it.
Well, it is good to be able to finally meet you face to face. So, just allow me just to um, introduce myself and just tell me a little, tell you a little bit about myself. So my name is Morel Francis,
Mhm.
and I serve as the chaplain of West Nairobi School. So I am not a licensed counselor. What I am doing currently is that I am taking some counseling courses through Columbia International University,
Mhm.
and so currently taking two courses right now. One in cross cultural counseling, and the other in care and counseling techniques. And I guess my specialty is working with youth and their families, um, but I still like to be able to help whomever I can in whatever the situation may be, because we're all connected in some way to a family or some sort of community, and
Mm.
so so I just want to let you know that that I'm very happy to be able to meet with you and to be able to walk with you through your situation. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, all right. So before we talk about what has brought you here today, let's just what I want to be able to do is I just want to talk through the consent form that I know you've
Okay.
had the opportunity to look at online and that you have filled in. But I just want to be able to just talk about a couple of things with you. I do want you to know that confidentiality is of the highest and utmost importance.
Mhm.
So please understand that what you are sharing with me will stay within the context of our relationship as we meet. But I do need you to know that if you reveal that you could potentially either be harming yourself or or harming somebody else, then what I must do is I must let my supervisor know that. Okay, so in my case here, that would be our lead counselor. That would also be in our school setting, our high school or our secondary principal, secondary headmaster, as well. So I do need you to know and understand that. Is that clear?
Yes, that makes sense. Yes.
Okay. We're also going to be, as we meet, our sessions will be recorded, all right, for purposes of training and purposes of being able to also understand or to look back on things that were said, and so just to be able to have that on record, just for our purposes. These videos would not be shared with anybody else or posted in any social media type of setting or anything like that. So I just want you to know that when we do meet together, our sessions will be recorded. Is
Hmm.
that clear?
Yes, I understand that, and I appreciate it. It makes me feel a little bit more safe about what I might share with you. So,
Okay, all right.
yeah.
Because yeah, I mean, obviously, I mean, yes, you definitely have your rights as a client, and I want to be able to respect those, and I want to be able to have respect your privacy, and just to be courteous in that way. So I just want you to know about that. I also just want to let you know that if you report that, or for any youth that I meet, if you're being abused in any way, or if you have been abused in the past, the law requires that I do report it to our association of international schools and social services. And I also just need you to know that if you're involved in any sort of court case and a request is made for your information about the therapy that you are receiving, information will be disclosed with your written consent unless the court requires that information is, or unless the court requires that the information needs to be provided. And so if that occurs, you'll be informed of those proceedings, and efforts to protect your confidentiality will be taken as well. All right. So any questions just as far as that piece goes with confidentiality?
No, I understand everything completely.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well then, let's talk here for a few minutes, and as I've had the opportunity to look through the information that you have shared with me, so I'm just pulling that up just to have that for my own reference. But Mekhi, why don't you just share with me what it is that has brought you to want to meet with me?
Well, I think I'm tired of wavering back and forth with having confidence and then not having confidence. And so far, I think one of the areas I have the least confidence in is pursuing ministry. I think there's a lot of issues around that. I mean, on one hand, I've got kind of my parents over here and what they gave me and wanting to live up to that. And then on the other hand, I have something trying to figure out, well, who am I outside of them? And then on the other hand is like, do I even measure up, according to God's standard? And yeah, it's a lot. I'm sorry if I'm a mess. It's a lot. So I think the goal for me is how do I find my voice and build my confidence during this process, and learn to really trust the process and in its fullness of having ups and downs, and maybe you can help me try to figure out how not to get stuck in those valleys during the process. Yeah, I think that's primarily why I'm here.
Okay, and can you tell me when, or maybe for how long, have you been wrestling through, I guess, hearing these, or having so many people input their thoughts into this, and so you're processing through all of that? How long have you been feeling that way? When did this first start to come about?
That's a good question. I feel like it's something that's always been there. So I'm trying to put a year or a date on it. Let's see. I think maybe sometime when I was a teenager, so let's say about maybe 14 or 15, I felt like I started grappling with knowing that there was a calling on my life, but really only having my parents as the examples of what that looked like, and what that looked like successfully and righteously. And then because like I mentioned, and always feeling this way, because I've never felt really that I could measure up to that ideal, that there's just no possible way that I'm going to be that successful or do it as well, or the respect that they had from the community. It was intimidating to realize that, wow, I have a similar calling, but there's just no way I can be them. What am I supposed to do with that? So yeah, I would say it started as early as 14, 15 years old.
Okay. And what were some things that you saw through the example of your parents that were encouraging to you, or that drew you to the idea of, hey, I feel like I can do what they do. What were some things that you were seeing in them?
Yeah, that's a great question. I would say that because of the church that we were in, and seeing the drastic difference between how my parents approached ministry and did ministry, juxtaposed to how that church just had nothing to do with Bible. It was more tradition. It just, to me, maybe that was the first time I put my parents on this pedestal of what to aspire to. And the things that I saw them model for me that I value to this day is having integrity in ministry. Being people of their word in ministry. If they said that they were going to pray for you, they prayed for you. Showing up to the hospital, when pastor said that they couldn't go, my parents were the ones going. Those kinds of things were things that I saw in our house that kind of set the standard of the stage for, I guess, this intimidation that built up in me. Like, there's just no way I can ever possibly be that good,
Okay. Well, I appreciate all that you've shared with me to this point, Makai. And I think a good starting point would be, is maybe just taking some time to reflect on some of those positive aspects that you saw in your parents' ministry, and consider, okay, how can I make those positive aspects, how can I make them my own? How can I put my own flavor to these things, or my own spin on these things? Because when we find ourselves comparing to other people, we're always going to fall short, or we feel like we're always going to fall short. But if we can take ownership, and even if it looks different, what could be some of those things? So maybe just over these next few days, before we meet again, why don't you take some time to just kind of reflect on those and see what and maybe we can draw some ideas out from that, and see where that takes us. Does that sound like a doable plan for you?
Yeah, I can handle that. I think that's a very simple task to just give it some more thought about those things that I value, because I do have a list. So maybe pulling out one or two of those things and trying to translate that into, well, how can I work this that looks like me? I like how you said flavor. I like that.
Okay.
So I'll give that a try.
Okay. All right. Well, then, why don't you look for an email from me, and I will send you a schedule with some open slots from coming up over the next few days. And then if you want to confirm one of those slots, and then I'll send you an email as a follow-up to confirm, and we'll look forward to meeting again and continuing our discussion.
Yeah, that sounds great. Thank you. I'll be looking forward to your email so I can get on your calendar again.
Okay, all right, and I'm looking forward to being able to meet with you again too. Thanks for your
All
time, Makai. You take care for
Thank
now.
you.
Okay.
All right, you too.
All right, we'll talk to you later.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, goodbye.